I really do feel like the media does like hype. They hype a lot of different things. However, I do believe that there has been a system set up to oppress black people in many different ways.
A system was set up to.
And I feel like that's why they kind of target the view of, you get what I'm saying? Like you said, the numbers may be small, but you see how much it's on the news. Like it's like prime time news.
Right.
And it's like an image that you want to control.
Right. But that's two different things. You said oppress black people, and then the images that you were saying that's a minority, that's to entice black people. So it's a difference between.
I feel like it's a control thing. I feel like they pick and choose how to show it, when to show it, what to show. Because it's not all negative news.
Right. But you know it's a minority of the time. All the stuff they show us is a minority of the time. Like we don't have a problem. Like the amount of people that's killed by police overall is not a big number. Reforming the police needs to be done, but I tell this to people all the time. You got politicians who make policies that's enforced by the police here. The police is at the bottom of the list. So you have to work this shit back up the other way. You can start with the politicians who make the policies that the police are trying to enforce. Mm-hmm. So when they're trying to say defund the police, demilitarize the police, I'm very troubled by that because you're still going to have the politicians and the policies. You're not going to have nobody to enforce the policies now? Let's question the fucking policies that they're about to put into place with nobody to enforce them.
To enforce it. That's fact. That's big fact.
Yeah, but we're not.
But that's the way. Remember how that's the way. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's the way that.
But the thing is about this, they will be enforced. But believe me, the police are going to look like Girl Scouts compared to the real enforcers of the policies. You understand what I'm saying? The police going to look like Girl Scouts. When you start saying real infantrymen, you understand what I'm saying? Who's trained to eliminate the threat. The police is still here to protect and to serve. You understand? When you are faced with people who are just trained to eliminate the threat, it's going to be a whole different type of situation.
I mean, and I do know people who are going about it, you know what I'm saying, politically. I know several people who going about it definitely politically, from higher up.
What you mean politically? Voting?
With the situation. Not necessarily just voting, but it's actually coming up with, like, I guess, a plan or, like, things that people want to see happen and change. And then going out, you know what I'm saying, having conversations with. Not just going one day, vote, and it's done, but going out, actually having conversations with. Sitting and talking to these people about, you know, what's going on, what you feel, what you see, and all the different things. I know people who are really out here working with, like I said, politicians, working with people that are like the police chiefs, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
What's the other people? Like the DA was above the DAs, like all
attorney generals and stuff like that.
Yeah, like really out there working with them. I know I've seen people do it, and I know people that do it. Like Trayon do that shit.
Okay, right.
But I don't know.
But what is it that we? What is it? What? So, but I think we sitting back saying that there's a system. What did you say? There's a system that's against us.
Yeah. You don't have to believe that.
I'm not saying it ain't. I'm not saying it's not. But I mean, that's a lot of onions to that. Do you think that we?
Oh, it's so.
It's a lot of scans to that.
So
a system.
Many
it's a system against.
So many. So many.
So there's no way to beat the system. There's no way to benefit off America just like anybody else as a black person. You still can't find a way to beat the system, or that system is really stopping you.
I'm not. How can I say this? I'm not going to say that there has not been change. I feel like the change has been very minuscule, and it has still been in a form of control. Yes, there are plenty of opportunities and everything, you know what I'm saying, for black people, but when you think about the amount of black people that are actually here and the amount of black people who actually have the same opportunity, on the same scale as their counterparts. Not to say that you aren't afforded the opportunity, because you may get that opportunity, you may get this opportunity, but you're not getting it at the same rate as a white person, even as an Asian person. Like, it's just, it's not happening.
Yeah, I understand.
And so, I'm not going to, hold on, let me finish up though. So, where's I going with that? I was going,
You say we're not getting the same opportunity as those, even though, it's presented for us. It's presented to us.
Yeah, but she was like, no, we were talking about the system now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. About, like, no. I was trying to like get myself back on point, but we was talking about, how the system is set up. And like you said, there are so many layers to the system because, I wholeheartedly believe in the fact that fuck the government. There are people out here that control the fucking world. Like, not one governments.
Okay.
Establishments.
Okay.
I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that everybody else is pawns. You know me. You know how I feel about politics these days. I feel like Democrat, Republican is a two-headed coin. Just whatever side you decide to flip, then you flip the shit. Like, you want to take it the hard way or the soft way. Like, that's just what it is. And so, I'm not going to say that you cannot benefit off America, but what I honestly want, what I want to see, and this is just me where I am right now, I think that for Black people, we need to stop being dependent. I feel like we sit and wait for somebody to tell us that something is okay. Or we sit and wait for somebody to open the door instead of saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to open my own door. Like, I don't need you. I don't got to get past this barrier. I don't need this acceptance. I feel like, and I've always said this, I feel like, in a sense, with Black people on this end, that after segregation, I think we had like a good little stint maybe through like to the 90s a little bit.
Okay.
Then it was bullshit. Once we got past the die, Black people was back on the downhill slope. It's like, bro, what the fuck are we doing here? Like you said, what the fuck do y'all want? Where are we going? You on this side, you on that side, you halfway in the middle. Like, what the fuck? That's
where I'm at with it right now. Like, now we're here. Now we here. Now we are here. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
I'm like, it's not hard. Yes, it has been shut down several times, but it's not hard. And if we do want to get a piece of the pie, then we need to get a real fucking piece of the pie. Like they said, we spend the most fucking money, but don't have nothing of our own. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's our biggest thing. We so quick to want to integrate into somebody else's shit. We want you to make us the CEO of your company instead of me getting a company that competes with you.
Right, I understand.
That's the American dream. We still, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Some shit is smart.
Right.
But why you gotta wait on, or why you gotta be a part of, why can't we mobilize and get? There was a Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? There were different communities that Black people had shit popping.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta, just to use an example. Like Atlanta. People look at Atlanta like the Mecca because you can go to Atlanta and fucking pop because everything is really like Black owned, Black brand, Black, like everything. And not just down, like you said, not just down to regular shit. Right. When you come to politics, when you go higher up, a lot of the higher ups are Black people.
You know, America is a melting pot. That's the thing about it. It's like, do we want to be here in America or we don't? Like, we seem like we want our own America inside of America. And America is just not all about individuals. It's not about white people. It's not about Black people. It's not about Spanish people. America is about all of us living collectively, unified. So, I'm all...
No. And so, to that effect, what I'm saying is, think about the collective that lives here, right? Think about the people that came here on their fucking own and just started doing shit. Now, granted, we was born here, but either way.
Not all of us were born here, but
we'll
go along with
you know what I'm saying? Just born here, either way, whatever you want to look at. So, you have Asian people, you got like you said, it's a melting pot of people.
That's
all
America.
of these people are here
Mm-hmm.
and have and been able to establish more than we have.
Why? You think it's a system? You don't think we have nothing to do with our own demise?
Yes, I said that.
So, do we have more to do with our own demise, or is it other people that's our own demise? Because I think it's a lot of things.
Like I said,
I think there's a lot of things. Even if it is other people's reason for our demise, there's a lot of things we can do to change it, but
we don't.
We
And
just
that's,
don't.
and that's the point. That's the point
and it
that
all,
I was
and
trying to
I'm
get
sure
to.
you agree. It all starts with us. It all starts with us. Like
That's the
it all
point that
starts
I'm
with
trying
us.
to get to.
And it's a lot of
Everybody
reasons.
wants to hold on to the manipulation of it. That's what I said. That's why most black people are still stuck in a slave mindset. That's why we're so pressed to integrate. That's why we're so pressed to have a part of. I feel like everybody else is not living in that mind frame. It's not living and holding on to their past. So they are able to keep up with the times. They are able to adapt and teach their children how to adapt.
Okay.
We still live in a mindset that has trickled down generation to generation. Like
Right.
I said, after segregation, we had a good little stint where black people was doing shit, and it was a lot of shit going on.
Right.
And then I feel like after the 90s, it was bullshit. It was all the way reality TV shows and
Right.
fucking BT after
But
dark.
you
and
is
fucking,
right
you know what I'm
because
saying?
what's going.
It started out.
It started a long
out,
time
you know
ago.
what I'm saying,
It
something
takes
else, but
it took
was a
it took
mindset.
a couple of years to get us to where we at right now. You understand what I'm saying? The plan has been in the making for a long time. So you started to observe those things probably, like you say, in the 90s, but it probably started a lot before then, where it's already got people that started to, you know what I'm saying, not even like their country as a whole. At one time, we used to like, everybody used to love America, like especially after, you know, we went through the turmoil, and after we go through wars, and after we come from out of slavery and all those type of things, we want to unite. You know, we want to love our country. We want to stand up and do things. Like, it's been a long time, then they done got us to not even like, you know what I'm saying, love our country no more. Nobody don't love the country no more. They've been working on that shit for a long time, and they've been working
I
on.
don't necessarily. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't think that people don't love this country.
Yes, they do, because this is what this shit is all about.
By
Whenever
the politics of it all.
Whenever people say "Make America Great," people always say, "When was America ever great?" Right?
Facts.
They always say, "When was America ever great?" But did they ever know America can be this fucked up? Look around. Look how fucked up we is. They say America was never great.
I say that.
But look how fucked up we are now. They never knew it could be this fucked up. They don't realize some countries already been living fucked up like this already while we was living good, and the only thing we was worried about is Donald Trump ain't paying his taxes. Donald Trump grabbed somebody by the booty. That was we was crying then. We had no reason to be crying. We was doing good. Everybody was working. Everybody was working. Like 7 out of 10 people was working. All the jobs was coming back. Everything was going good. But since you want to stop Trump, and you want never Trump, and America's never was great, okay, they can make that shit happen. They can make that shit happen for everybody. They can make that happen for everybody. The universe is very fair. You get exactly what you asked for.